Hey, Dave. Today we're going to go through the mine maze, and you can see right here that I started in the last room in the gorge, and the wall collapsed behind me. Um, as I'm going through this, I want to talk a little bit about some of the design bits and everything. This is actually a maze that I designed that Adam Mixner, our lead artist,
Have a care, sorcerer.
actually made better
These
because he
mines
always
are held
does.
together with
But
nothing
this
more
this
than rock
particular
and timber.
room, um, or yeah, I guess we call them rooms, even though in some cases they're more than one room. Um, this kind of originated from my early days of making games, and there was a game called Dungeon Master, and our lead designer Carl Rulofs and I would play that for hours and hours and hours. When probably when we should have been working on Shadowgate or Uninvited or Deja Vu or one of the other adventure games, or ones that were canceled. There were some adventure games that were canceled as well. Beyond Shadowgate, which is now going to be a an NES type game that we kickstarted, and that's going to be coming out this year. But we were working on some other games as well, things like a game called The Awakening, which was a kind of Victorian werewolf game. I think I still have the design for it somewhere in the basement. And a game called Helios, and another one called Gossip. And anyway, we were working on those games, but they were canceled when we went off to started working on side scrollers like Roadrunner and such. But anyway, so I played Dungeon Master. And what I liked about Dungeon Master, and it was procedurally, it's kind of I don't know that it was procedurally generated, but it
I
certainly,
was thinking
the
about the
rooms
silver
were,
lining in
kind
this
of generic
particular
looking stuff.
quest
It was a
we
lot of
are
fun,
on.
and it was
I'll
much more
let you
RPG,
know
right? Because our
coming
game
up.
is adventure game. But one of the things that I loved about it was that there were some rooms, some sections of the dungeon where there were just things to pull, and you had to figure out like where to pull these levers and what would it open up, and you'd hear something in the distance opening up, but you didn't know what it was, and so it was just a progressive thing. I come across a door or a barrier that I can't get past, and and then I would go back and find a lever that might trigger it. And there were always secret doors and everything. So this room, this set of rooms here, is my homage to Dungeon Master. There was actually an art director named Andy Jaros who, Andy, if you're still out there, hello. Who actually sent me a personalized version of it. And when you walk in, it said, "Welcome to Dave Marsh's Dungeon," which was really, really neat. So, as you can see in this case, I'm pulling levers and opening up doors in other parts. So if you're watching the video and just follow what I'm doing, but you can pretty much see that the key here is using Odin Vision to find hidden doors, hidden the key chest that you need. Like right there, that's a room I can't get to, so I'm going to go this other direction to try to find a way to open it. And so there's a hidden door right past in that area that the mob is coming out of. So um, that will obviously turn it off, open that grate. And then again, using Odin Vision there to uh, to stop a barrier, to turn off a barrier, which is that barrier there, and also
I
to
can
find the
imagine it
key to
now.
get out of
Here
the
lies the
rooms.
great
And so I
Odin
may have talked about it
Raven,
before, but one of the
devoured
things about
while waiting
Shadowgate
patiently.
VR, Mines of Mythrock,
Would you
is
like a hint,
in order for
sorcerer?
this game to really work as to make it as realistic looking as possible, because of the limitations of the Quest headset, we needed to make everything, subsection. And I think I may have talked about this before, but, we load a room, we delete and destroy the room
Careful of
behind
the
us.
right
We
wing.
lock you in this room
Hold
so that we can use all the
forward.
processing power of the headset to render a really nice looking room. And so once nothing else in the game right now is loaded. As I get closer to the next room, we'll start to load that in the background, so that when you go in, it's a seamless transition. And then when the door closes, we destroy it. So getting keys, is important in the game here. I just uncovered a hidden chest. Getting keys is really important in the game because it keeps you in smaller rooms, and this is consistent That's the good part. This is consistent with how Shadowgate has always been. It has always been a game of smaller rooms
I
that
believe
are
that right now is a
different than
fine
each other.
time
That's
to
why it's not a
save
procedurally generated
the
dungeon
rest in
where
peace.
all the rocks and
Gently,
rooms and everything pretty much
resting.
look the same. And I like those games, those kind of RPG games, certainly. But our game is really more about, hey, I'm coming into a new room. It's very different than the last room, and we did that, and so it worked well bringing Shadowgate to VR by keeping it as these small rooms. So hope I haven't bored you with that. I was going to die here because I'm terrible, and so I had to drink a potion, which is really fun. I love the idea of drinking potions in the game. We'll do that in the next game as well, although we will put a spin on that. And as I'm getting closer to finishing this game, or as I continue working these videos, I have time. But as I work on the videos, I'll be talking about the next game as well, which is Shadowgate VR Source of Magic, which we're in the midst of. So, yeah, that's that. So here I just discovered there's a blue force field, and of course we've learned to turn off blue force fields. I need to they only last a certain amount of time, right? That they stay on. So I'm going to jump through this as quickly as possible, get to the end. This will make Odin
In
happy.
haste, sorcerer, or
This is the first time we've
without
introduced
haste, how
these kind of floating
only
mobs here, these gas mobs, is what we call them. Key here is just to stay at a distance. If they shoots a gas bomb at you, just destroy it before it gets anywhere close to you, or you'll be in an AOE, gas bubble, really, and stuff like that's area of effect. If you're not an RPG player, AOE. Just opened up the thing there. I've got another. There's Odin. Thought I'd pet him. I love petting Odin. That's so much fun. We wrote maybe
That's
20
me.
things for him
It's
to
'cause I'm a
say, but
ghost,
next game I have to write
Raven.
more. Just
Didn't you
super
know
super fun.
that?
Um, and we learn here more about what happened with the dwarves, and so I'll let you listen to that. Fun animation by Adam. His was his idea, of course, because he's awesome.
Mythrok, have you reached the king with the news? Will he
This is the first
stay?
time actually that we
Do
learn
not
about
tarry, as of this I am certain.
that they think it's the Warlock
That
Lord
which has been
that's
released is no mere beast, although
causing these
there are
problems. So
creatures roaming the mines that I have never
Talmar, the
before
Starless, as
laid
we
eyes
talked about
upon.
at the beginning of the game,
No,
Blackmere
the
talks
thing
about
that
it.
haunts these halls is nothing less than the Dark Wizard, the very one from the dread stories of old.
So he's done, and we're pretty much done with this level. A small level, but it's the first type maze level that we had, which was fun. We'll do another one later. I get to the end here, and of course I need a key, and there's my key, and I'll put it in the door, and I'll head into the next room. We'll talk about this pool in the next room, in the next video, which I promise will be sooner than this one. So I hope you had a great time, and thank you so much, and we'll talk to you in the next game, the next video. Thanks.